Hello, my friends. I'm Father Ted Estes of the Episcopal Diocese of West Missouri. As we celebrate Black History Month, we are grateful for the faithful service of African American laypeople and clergy who proclaim the gospel of Christ and minister to the needs of the world. There are countless faithful witnesses to be considered, but in this video we want to highlight the life and work of the Reverend Dr. Harold T. Lewis. Dr. Lewis actively chronicled and analyzed the struggle of African Americans in the Episcopal Church. His life and work focused not only on recording the history of this struggle, but also making history as an active priest, author, professor, mentor, social justice warrior, and leader in African American ministry and the larger church. Ordained as priest in December 1971, Dr. Lewis ministered at parishes in England, Washington, D.C., New Haven, New York, Ohio, and as a missionary in Honduras and Zaire. He taught at Pittsburgh Theological Seminary, George Mercer School of Theology, New York Theological Seminary, and General Theological Seminary. Dr. Lewis also served the wider church through organizational leadership. From 1983 to 1994, he was the director of the Office of Black Ministries of the Episcopal Church, providing technical assistance, leadership, and mentoring to Black laity and clergy. In this role, he oversaw the publication of the hymnal, Lift Every Voice and Sing. As a member of the Standing Commission on World Mission of the Episcopal Church, he pressed to have African American missionaries recognized and celebrated. Dr. Lewis served on the boards of the Urban League and the Metro Urban Institute of Pittsburgh Theological Seminary. He was a member of the Episcopal Church Foundation's Fellows Forum, the Union of Black Episcopalians, and a board member of Seabury Western Theological Seminary. Dr. Lewis also served on the Board of Trustees at Yale Divinity School and was instrumental in that institution's South African divestment. By appointment of the Archbishop of Canterbury, he chaired and served on the Advisory Council for the Anglican Observer to the United Nations. Dr. Lewis was an accomplished author of books, articles, hymns, and poetry. Just a few of his many publications are A Church for the Future, South Africa as a Crucible for Anglicanism in a New Century, Yet with a Steady Beat, The African American Struggle for Recognition in the Episcopal Church, Christian Social Witness, Elijah's Mantle, Pilgrimage, Politics, and Proclamation, and The Recent Unpleasantness. Dr. Harold Lewis' work has been recognized by several groups. In November 2012, he received the Episcopal House of Deputies Medal for his work as a deputy and his actions to bring stability to the Diocese of Pittsburgh during a time of conflict. The Union of Black Episcopalians has honored him several times for his unfailing support of their goals. In 2009, Dr. Lewis received the Dean's Cross of Virginia Theological Seminary for his work advocating for justice and a changed world. In response to receiving the Dean's Cross, Dr. Lewis quoted from the great hymn, O Holy City, Scene of John, by Dr. W.R. Bowie. Give us, O God, the strength to build the city that hath stood, too long a dream, whose laws are love, whose crown is servanthood, and where the sun that shineth is God's grace for human good. In reciting these verses, Harold Lewis points us to the fact that we are called to strive for the heavenly city where justice and peace come together on earth. Dr. Lewis yielded to the grace of God and, with the strength received, worked tirelessly to bring the dream of God to life in the church and the world. It is fitting to close this reflection on his life by quoting the final verse of Dr. Bowie's hymn. Already in the mind of God, that city riseth fair. Lo, how its splendor challenges the souls that greatly dare, yea, bids us seize the whole of life and builds its glory there. thank you for reflecting with us on the life and witness of Dr. Harold T. Lewis. May his example light our way forward.